So I guess recovery is the buzzword for Starbucks, as for much of the world right now. Give us a sense of where you believe you are in the recovery at Starbucks.
Well, David, the recovery has actually unfolded faster than we anticipated. I'll give you a couple of data points. At the low point in April, our U.S. business was comping minus 65%. And in the month of September, we comped minus 4%. And in that minus 4%, we still had 3% of our stores closed, which was accounted for probably two points of comp. So from minus 65 to minus 4 in 5 months. China, in the month of February, we had 90% of our stores closed, and in the month of September, they posted a positive comp. So that recovery has unfolded faster than we thought. Now, we did implement all these new store protocols in our stores so that we can operate in a safe way, even with COVID. And so we're focused on those experiences that customers are seeking right now, which we characterize as experiences that are safe, familiar, and convenient. And that has fueled our recovery.
So Kevin, the goal obviously is to get back to and then past where you were before the pandemic, as for all of us. And you're projecting, as I understand it, in 2021, you'll get there. My question is, does the world have to get back to normal for that to work for you? Or can Starbucks get back to where it was, even if we are still dealing with partial shutdowns? We're dealing with a COVID-19 that we don't fully understand, can't get our arms around.
Well, the fact that we built these store protocols and we've woven these protocols into the operational capability in our stores, and this recovery has unfolded even as we've seen COVID cases surge. And so, I feel pretty confident that, we know how to operate in the world of COVID, even before there's a vaccine and therapeutics. Certainly, we look for that day when there is a vaccine and therapeutics, because once that happens, then we think there's a huge wave of demand that we will see even far beyond this recovery. But I'm pretty confident that in our recovery, we've built a more resilient company, and we know how to do this, even with the spread of COVID.
Kevin, it's Alex. It's great to talk to you. I wonder if this helps accelerate, though, transition to more drive-through rather than the traditional Starbucks model where you go and you sit and you spend 5 hours in the store. And if that's true, how quickly can you implement that and move towards, say, new technology?
Yeah, Alex, great question. We've been in the last decade or so, we've been building a lot of drive-throughs throughout the United States. And certainly, if we look at where a lot of our orders are coming from today, it's at drive-throughs, it's mobile order for pickup in our stores. We implemented curbside pickup, it's delivery. When we did open limited seating, when we do open limited seating in our stores, we have over 60% of our stores in the U.S. now have limited seating. As soon as we open limited seating, customers are back sitting in our stores. We do it where they socially distance, but, safe, familiar, convenient experiences right now. A lot of that is drive-through, and it's mobile ordering on our mobile app.
The other trend that we've seen is each ticket item. When people are going less to Starbucks, when they go, they spend more. Does that mean you have to rethink, say, some of your menu offerings as well? And how are you thinking about that?
Well, we always drive innovation in our beverage platform. What's driving that increase in ticket is group orders. If you're working from home, schooling from home, someone runs to Starbucks, they buy for the whole family, or they buy for their work colleagues, whoever they happen to be with. And so what we're seeing is multiple beverages and lots of food attached, which is driving up that order. But we continue to drive innovation, especially in our beverage platform. This last quarter, pumpkin spice lattes and pumpkin spice has been a popular item every fall. And this year we introduced, or the second year, I guess, we had pumpkin cream cold brew. We actually sold more pumpkin cream cold brew than we did pumpkin spice latte. But the good news is it lifted the entire pumpkin platform of beverages that we sell. And so that model of innovation around exciting new beverages is something we're going to stay focused on.
Yeah, Kevin, I can't keep up with your cold brew, as you know. You're always one step ahead of me. But answer me this. Is work from home hurting Starbucks as a practical matter? Because part of the tradition was, for a lot of us, we'd go into the office and pick something up just before we were going to the office, or even on a break from the office. Is that hurting Starbucks as a practical matter?
Well, based on the results we're seeing in our recovery, it's not. What it is, though, it's creating some shifts. For example, we see a shift from transactions in sort of the central business district to more suburban. So people are going to the Starbucks near their homes. We're seeing a shift from early mornings to mid-morning. And so, people are maybe, getting up and doing some things at home before they make their Starbucks run. And so we basically, through technology and our artificial intelligence, we monitor all the shifts in customer behavior, and then we optimize for those experiences and the operating protocols we need in our stores to serve those customer experiences. And that is part of what's driving this recovery.
Kevin, you mentioned China before. Starbucks has been in China a long time. It's been very successful for you. China's a little bit ahead of us, I think it's fair to say, in the recovery. And if you look at the same store sales, that's sort of reflected, it looks like, in Starbucks. What are you making of China right now? Are you opening stores as fast in China as you were? Because when we've talked in the past, you're opening them like every day.
Yeah, in China, we went into shutdown sort of in the late January, February. So, they were the first market that we really developed the principles by which we manage this pandemic and the operating store protocols that we've now distributed around the world. And so as China came out of the shutdown and had flattened the curve, certainly we had a sort of a pause in new store development or new store openings. But in this last quarter, we opened over 260 net new stores, over 580 net new stores for the year. We remain committed to 600 new stores in China a year. We just surpassed 4,700 stores in China. And we're opening those stores as fast as we can. And we're going to continue to invest in China. I'm very bullish on the long-term opportunity for Starbucks in China.
Yeah, you can see Apple, for example, really falling out of bed because those China sales were down, sort of emphasizing how important that is for overseas companies. Question on that. When you're opening them, are you opening them like a traditional store, or are you opening them more like you're going to be driving through and not staying there, dealing more with mobile technology? Because I'm wondering if the type and quality of investment that you're spending in China has now changed.
Well, the Chinese consumer is a very digitally oriented consumer. So our partnerships with Alibaba and with WeChat have been a big part of how we've gotten our mobile app and gotten, significant number of active rewards members in our Starbucks program. So, clearly digital is a big part of it. In terms of store formats, we design beautiful stores in China with the third place experience. Some of those stores have drive-through. We've introduced a new concept we call Starbucks Now, which is think of it as a walk-through type of store in sort of the dense metropolitan areas. Our stores, if you've seen our stores in China, they are beautiful. They're magnificent. We design them, we build them with local Chinese artisans and Chinese artwork. But the beverages you'll see are very familiar to you. China continues to be just a great market and a great customer experience.
Kevin, we never talk about Starbucks without talking about your partners, those, as you say, the men and women who wear the green apron. I think that's your expression. Tell us about how that's standing right now. Number one, do you have as many partners today as you did before the pandemic? And number two, what kind of costs, what kind of efforts are you putting into making sure that those people are safe?
Yeah, well, first of all, look, I have a lot of gratitude for the 400,000 Starbucks partners who proudly wear the green apron around the world. And if you just think about in the United States and around the world, it was, I think, in April when we shut down all of our stores in the United States. One of the important things we did was give our partners economic certainty. We said, we're going to pay you whether you come to work or not, even if your store is closed or if you are uncomfortable being out in COVID during the shutdown. We paid all of our partners through that period and gave them economic certainty. That investment is serving us very well. Our partner engagement scores are now at an all-time high, and that is translating to customer connection. That is driving a great customer experience. And, I give our partners who wear the green apron all the credit in the world for how they've driven this recovery, because it's partners in the store that create that experience for each and every customer.
Kevin, quickly before we let you go, two big things happening in the U.S. Obviously, the elections and the potential for greater stimulus no matter who wins the White House. How do those two things and the potential of higher taxes affect your business?
Well, let me just start with the stimulus question, because I think, in many ways, if you look at small businesses and you look at Americans who are out of work and struggling right now, I think it's important for our government leaders to get together and find some solution to help those small businesses and help those individuals and those families who are struggling because of unemployment and the implications coming from this pandemic. I think that's important. Independent of the election, look, we're very focused. This recovery is underway. We feel very good about that. And, I think we'll see what happens next week on this election process. But, we're very optimistic about the future of Starbucks, and the recovery gives us great optimism.